Hey guys, my name is James. With me today is John, and we are going to be talking about Batman versus Superman. This is going to be a full-blown spoilers discussion of the movie. So if you haven't seen the film and don't want to be spoiled, I don't know why you're here at all, because really, you probably should have seen the movie by now. Like TikTok, it's going to be out of theaters. But yeah, we're going to get straight into it. First of all, let's just start off with, we both liked the film.
Yes.
Which was a big surprise to me because I saw it a couple weeks ago from this recording, and I went in going pretty meh on it, thinking, I'll enjoy it. But honestly, I thought I wasn't going to enjoy it because last minute I looked at my phone to check the times, and I noticed it's like 3 hours long, which I didn't know about. I'm just going, oh, this might be it's one thing to go see a movie you're like, I might not enjoy, but at least it'll be like 2 hours. I'm doing something with my life. At 3 hours, it's just like, oh God, I'm gonna have to use the bathroom.
I don't think you can be more surprised than I was, though.
Why?
Because one of the first thoughts I had coming out of the movies is James is gonna hate this movie. That's why I was like, we have to talk about this.
Tell me why I was gonna hate the movie.
I just thought it was going to be too much of a drag for you. Like, I thought, like, you go to see
a Superman movie. There was always something happening, though. It maybe wasn't the most interesting thing, but it felt like it was at least moving.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about, like, just the dire tone of the movie. I thought, especially when we've talked about comic book movies, you're into the... They can't see me, I'm smiling, this big smile, like, yay, comic book things are happening, and it's ridiculous.
Right.
You're way more into that, so I thought you might just be like, oh, you took, two big comic book characters and made like a really, really sad, depressing movie.
I mean, it's gritty. I wouldn't say it's... I wasn't that sad. Well,
that could be a problem.
Should we get into the...
Wait, couldn't you say that's one of the problems of the movie? Shouldn't it have been sad that Superman died? Like,
well, we should get into the other reason that you might have thought I wouldn't enjoy the film. I do not like Superman as a character. Like, not even like movies in general. Comics, everything. I do not like Superman.
But why?
And this is why I like this movie, guys.
But what?
No, that's a joke.
No, now we have to go off on the Superman. What do you mean? Superman is like one of the best characters.
I think Superman... I've watched Superman movies that I've enjoyed, the animated stuff. I've seen him in cartoons that I've enjoyed. And he can be a very interesting character. I think he's very easy to write poorly.
No, that's true. But what does that have to do with Superman himself? Just because writers fuck it up and are lazy.
I think more times than not, he's been written poorly. And it also stems off of the whole, he's Superman. He does everything kind of thing. And I know... And the interesting thing there is, like, when he's dealing with stuff like, oh, before I used to have to hold back, but now I don't have to for you. And there are interesting moments with him. But him as, like, a character, I would never want to write for Superman. Because I personally don't think I can do anything interesting with him. Also, like, let's say if it was a tabletop game, I wouldn't want any of my players to be Superman, because you can do it so poorly. Yeah, also, it can really just be focused on that character. Like, too focused on Superman. And
this is killing me.
I know. This is just an opinion.
No, I know, but I think it's
I should say I have not seen any of the newer Superman films, though those get pretty mixed reactions in general. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't see those. I mean, good,
right tangent, because obviously we've broken from Batman vs. Superman.
No, it's not. I'm telling you, I do not like Superman, and that's part of this. And this is why I don't like Superman. I don't think I think he can be a character that's easily able to be written poorly and can ruin something.
Yeah, but that's not Superman. That's the writer.
I also just don't like Superman. Like, I don't like that he's the most powerful being on Earth. I don't.
Why not?
I just don't like that kind of a character. I like Spider-Man or Batman or people who are struggling.
Superman struggles. Superman is the most human character there is. That's the thing I love about
Clark
it.
is.
Yeah. That's a big fucking thing. He is Clark. Like, that is the whole point. You're supposed to make it about Clark. Like, those are the best Superman stories, is that Clark Kent struggles with being Superman all the time. Like, it's the toughest thing.
Again, for other people, like, I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't watch a lot of
the
media.
Movies.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying, like, I have a very small interaction with Superman. Like, I've seen maybe 2 or 3 things, or I've heard about 2 or 3 things.
There's so many good comics.
I also don't really read comic books. I read, like, Japanese manga, but that's about it.
So why can't you just, like, not know enough about Superman to have this strong of a fucking opinion on it? Like, that's crazy.
I'm just saying I don't like Superman.
But you don't know Superman, it sounds like.
I guess, yeah. But it's also just like, I don't know. I don't know.
Real quick, before we get back on track, this is stuff that breaks out on Twitter all the time with the people I follow, apparently. And this, I guess that's why I'm like so, like, why I'm reacting the way I am right now, is because I realized that almost everyone who talks about comic books knows nothing about comic books.
Or only knows it through, like, one media, but not all media.
Yeah, like, so people talk about how they hate Superman, and then they give reasons like that, and I'm like, or like some people say, oh, he's too alien. No, that's when you're doing him wrong, when you're making him too alien. And then when a whole bunch of people are going against Batman all of a sudden, this is a weird...
Right?
I know, right? Yeah, like, if you go on Twitter...
What?
Yeah, people hate Batman now, apparently.
Like this Batman? Or
just Batman in general.
Fuck that.
Because they think he's an idiot. They think, like, oh, the fact that he won't kill the Joker, you know, all those deaths are in his hands now.
What?
Yeah, it's...
Fuck off! The reason he doesn't kill the Joker is because he has a fucking line he doesn't cross.
Yeah, but they think...
Fuck!
No, but they think that's a stupid rule.
It's a good rule because because if he kills the Joker, he's pretty much the Joker.
No, their argument is he's allowing the Joker to kill all these people.
Well, these people need to watch Red Hood. That's a good fucking film.
No, look, yeah, it is, and well, the comic's bad, but like,
well, I only know it through the Netflix.
Yeah, no, it's really good, and that whole sequence is great. I'm not arguing, you know, with that. To me, I'm a Batman fan, I'm a Superman fan, I'm a fan of, you know, all these characters. But I understand their standpoint, but I just feel like you're not reading enough. You don't understand Batman. It's more than just about a line for the sake of a line. It's because this movie. All right, so let's get back to the movie. This is who he becomes when he crosses the line. Yeah. And it's not just dark. He's not that great of a person in this. And he realizes that over the course of the movie, you know? So, okay, we just need to get into the movie because this is the thing that kills me.
So let's just talk about some of the things with, like, what Batman's doing. He's branding criminals. He definitely killed.
He kills a
few people.
No, a lot of people.
I felt like more in his dream sequences.
When the Batmobile, he just destroys everybody in that thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he like, not only it was so funny the first time I watched it. When he grabs that first vehicle and tosses it, I was like, maybe they're okay, but then he launches the thing back at them and drags them around through it. I was like, okay, now they're dead.
I thought the same thing, like, going like, because I was looking for all the deaths, and I'm just going like, okay, they could be, oh, no.
That whole sequence, he kills pretty much everyone he can.
But that's because he was very goal focused in getting that.
Yeah, right now, anything. His mindset is anything in his way, he's got to get through it. You know. And
I kind of wish there was more to explain, because it definitely sounds like it was before the whole Superman stuff that he's been branding people and doing bad things. And I know they show that really quick scene where they show, like, it was Robin's outfit with Joker things. And yes, I know that could be it more than likely is a reference to Jason Todd getting killed by Joker. I just wish there was something else, like someone saying Jason or something.
All right, real quick, there's 2 things I have to say about it, because you're right. But one thing I want to say is a lot of people, they that's one of the reasons they dislike the movie. They feel like all that character development is left up to like, you know,
Right.
It's not in the movie. But what I will say is they could have done a better job. There's 30 minutes cut from the movie. I don't know if you know that. That there's a director's cut.
Damn.
It's 30 minutes longer, and according to Zack Snyder, it fleshes out, you know, these things better.
Okay.
So we'll see. But, you know, we can't review the movie.
We
based
are
on
not
that.
judging that.
Yeah. So just looking at this, though, I think there's more than people give it credit for, though. So, like, yes, there is that suit. But that isn't the only thing. Yeah, we never hear Jason, but when he's talking to Alfred, and forget talking for a second. Just the way Alfred looks at him. He looks at him like this is a man who has fallen apart. This is a man who lost his way, and he looks sad about it, kind of scared about it sometimes. So it's like in the performances to me, you know, he nails that. And also, Ben Affleck fucking kills it to me as Bruce Wayne. And he acts like this super hardened version of Batman. And so, and the way he looks at things, it's like, or that scene when you're talking about he's looking at suit, it's like he needs to remind himself. He needs to remind himself that that's why it's okay what he's doing right now, you know? So it's stuff like that. But then when they are talking, you know, he says something along the lines of like, you know, how many good people are left, you know, how many stayed that way, you know, stuff like that. So it's like, the point is they're setting up the fact that he lost his way. He used to be the Batman that we know, that we're used to. And something big happened, Jason Todd, or a series of events happened that he just said, fuck it. And he crossed that line. He broke the rule. He said the rule doesn't work. He's with the people that say they hate Batman right now. He's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. And so he's going off. And some people, they hate that. They say, oh, that's not Batman. And this is a terrible direction for Batman. But to me, it course corrects over the course of the movie. It gets to a point where he's starting to come back. You know, Superman kind of reels him back in.
Yeah, like,
like, because he could have done so much more to Lex Luthor in that final scene too, you know? He doesn't even hit him. He just punches the wall behind him. So this is a Batman who's getting control of himself again. And he wants to do right. He wants to do better. It was a corny speech at the end with Wonder Woman there, but he's pretty much saying, we gotta do better. We gotta do better. So yeah, like that. So that's one issue people point out, and I'm like, to me, it wasn't an issue. I was really fascinated by this Batman.
Yeah, like at the end, if he was still, like, I was worried at the end where he's like, oh, he's still this psycho kind of person. But the fact that he hit the wall and it was just putting terror into, why did I forget his name?
Lex
Luthor, which we're gonna have to talk about later. It made me go, okay, like, this is why I'm excited for the next Justice League film or whatever the fuck
Batman
comes out.
as well as coming.
Yeah. Whatever comes next with Batman in it.
Oh, Suicide
I'm
Squad.
interested.
He's in it. He's in Suicide Squad.
But how much of it?
It seems that he's gonna be a bigger part than people thought.
Okay.
From what
When does that come out?
August.
Okay, I definitely need to see that.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Because I just love the idea behind it. The whole getting the villains to be...
It looks fun.
Yeah.
It looks fun. So, continuing though, like... So that's pretty much my defense of Batman. Like, I didn't even think it needed to be defended until I saw the reaction.
I can see, like, someone being upset with him breaking the rules, to say.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The film put it into enough perspective.
Yeah.
For me,
but that's what people are saying is lost. And for me, it wasn't lost, though. For me, it was there. And that's why they start the movie with him. You know, the first time I watched it, I wasn't the biggest fan of the way it started. But they have, like, the more I've seen it, it's like, okay, no, they felt it was really important to establish the beginning, to establish what got him into this. It's not just about the name scene that everyone talks about. It's about establishing why he started doing this to begin with, you know? And he has to be reminded of that later on in the movie.
Actually, this is a quick question. Are we supposed to think, like, this film is related to the past Batman films?
No, they changed it.
Good, okay.
No, it's
I just want to make sure, like, they are completely... separated.
Yeah, they thought about, they wanted, you know, there was a little, they wanted Christian...
It wouldn't work.
No, it would it would have worked because it would have been different. Like, they made changes.
I guess, like, saying, like, oh, he got back into this because of that thing.
That character would have died.
Yeah. I don't know, but for me, like, the Dark Knight movies, I really only saw that going into either two directions, either a Nightwing movie or we go into a far-flung future and do the Batman Beyond movie, which should fucking happen one day. Because Batman Beyond is the best fucking thing in the world. Anyway.
I love it, but I disagree.
When's the last time you watched it?
It's been a long time.
I have all the DVDs and the movie.
I'll have to watch it. But, like, for me,
It's no longer on Netflix, so I will offer you...
It's super fun, and I get why you... But I don't know. I like Justice League Unlimited, the Batman, the animated series.
I wonder if it's the father-son kind of themes to it.
Yeah.
That maybe I'm clinging to.
It's really good stuff.
Due to my past.
But, and that's one thing I wish they would have done more in the Batman animated series, because not enough movies or anything does it enough where Alfred is Batman's father, not just his butler, not just his partner. The best scenes with them is when it's a father-son thing going on, and they nailed that in Batman Beyond. Between them two. Anyways, wait, one more thing I want to say about Batman. Some people say like, oh, he wasn't changing, because he still killed when he went to save, but I was like, no, but that was extreme circumstances. He made a promise. He had to save her. You know what I mean? Like, so it was by any means
necessary. He wasn't really like, oh, I'm going to do this the good way. It was, I'm going to save her,
But the thing is, it's not like he killed everyone in that room or anything. He pretty much, one guy killed himself. And then the last guy, that's pretty much the only one he deliberately killed. But it was because it was her life or his. And of course, he was like, I'm going after her. So, I'm just going to go into that whole Martha scene. That's another thing that people have been upset about.
Okay, so we're going to talk about, like, they're fighting. Superman says Martha, and Batman freaks the fuck out.
Yes. So, a lot of people hate that scene.
I thought it was weird, but, like, it was just like, okay, I kind of understand the fact that you're freaking out. He said Martha. But they did, like, it's not like the film never said Martha for Bruce or ever project. Like, no, he's been thinking about this for a while. Like, the fact that he's having this dream and he goes into the tomb and Martha and the blood's dripping, it's still on his mind. Also, that a giant bat pops out of that grave tomb thing, right? Was that Man-Bat?
That's what it looked like to me.
By the way, the dream sequences, I don't want to go too far into this, but did that just feel like... I don't know, the writers or the director kind of going, look what else we can do with Batman. Like this post-apocalyptic thing, or this thing with Man-Bat, or... I don't know.
See, okay, well, so then you're... Obviously, it didn't ruin anything for you, but you're in agreement with people
I was just
about that.
I was just like going like, oh, it would be kind of cool. Like, these little things are just like, oh, what if the next Batman film dealt with Man-Bat, or something along those lines, where it's like, okay, that could be interesting.
Well, no, I think it's more than that. Like, I think, like, maybe the idea is he has face man. Like, in that, maybe he's seen Man-Bat before. But again, these are just things to, when people say his character is not contextualized or his state of mind isn't, these are things that flesh that out. He's super paranoid. That's one thing. This is the most paranoid. Batman's already paranoid in all the comics.
Yeah.
This is the most paranoid he's ever been. That he's having that dream sequence. But then the thing about the dream sequence where, it's post-apocalyptic is that it's more than a dream sequence. That seems obvious to me, because how would he know about Darkseid? There's the Darkseid symbol on the ground. How would he know about, the parademons that, come down? Those are Darkseid minions. So he's seeing something, whether it's the future. And that's also implied to me when Flash shows up, Flash is showing him this somehow, or when Flash came back, Batman somehow got these visions of, a future during that part. The only thing that made that sequence weird to me is that he wakes up twice. That's what throws me off. But,
you never had that happen? You never woke up in a dream and then woke up from the dream?
But if Flash was real, why would it be a dream? You know what I mean? Unless whatever they're doing is somehow dream-based.
It's weird.
Know. Yeah, it's very weird. But for me,
that was Flash, right?
That was definitely
because
Flash.
I was having a hard time going like, is that Flash? Is it some other time traveler?
It was definitely
like
Flash. It's the same actor that they show us later on.
Well, and also, bad with faces.
Also, when that mechanical part of it comes off, you can see the red, like mask. It's kind of hard to see because all the light is going like that. But what I want to say is that the dream sequences, to me, like it wasn't just like, oh, this is what we could do with it. It's just putting you where he's at. He's kind of losing it in this movie. You know, he's kind of losing it. And that post-apocalyptic setting in his mind is like just more like, I gotta take this guy out. You know, like some people are like, why would he do that? But it's like, he's lost it. He's lost it. You don't understand.
He sees Superman as the enemy.
Yeah. And it's whether fair or not, it doesn't matter. He's just lost it. You know, when people say, okay, this is why the rule is important. Batman is just as insane as his villains. It's just that he's a good person, and he really just tries to be the best, and so he's able to kind of push that back. This is what happens when he lets go.
Yeah, he's just as fragile as as a human. Yeah. He's very fragile. Mentally.
Okay, so real quick, before I forget, we were talking about Martha, that sequence. For me, it was effective. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, that was corny, it was weird, it was stupid, why would that make the fight stop?
I thought it was a little silly. But that's about it. Like, I still thought it was a good scene where he's just like, why did you say that name? What?
But people go like, they take the Step Brothers meme of like, your mom's name is Martha? My mom's name is Martha. Are we best friends now? And look, it's funny, but that's not what happened in that scene.
I actually really like the, there's one for like, because Civil War. Did that come out yet?
Yeah.
With Captain America and Iron Man going like, what's your mother's name? And I forgot what the name was, but it was clearly like they didn't have the same mother's name.
Yeah.
They're just like, war.
We have to talk about that at some point as well. But
I have not seen Civil War.
But I don't... Oh yeah, so the reason why I found it effective though is because it's fucking Batman. If it was anyone else, it wouldn't work for me. But again, this is Batman. His whole thing is he can't let go of his parents' death. You know what I mean? And he's insane right now. He's blinded by rage and fear and
you can definitely get that with the scene prior with that when he's talking to Alfred, going like, "Oh, we used to be hunters." Yeah, he's like, "What's going on with Batman? What the fuck are you talking about?" We used to hunt wolves for their pelts. Are you okay?
No, he's not okay. And yeah, so that's the point. So for me, yeah, in that moment, it's not the, oh, your mom's name is Martha, my mom's name is Martha, we're best friends. It's just him waking up from his trance because he's realizing he's become everything that he didn't want to become. He's realizing, I'm about to kill this guy out of fear, not because I know anything, just it's for the wrong reasons. And also, that's the first time he sees Superman as a person. Right. Oh, he has a mother that loves him. Oh, this woman's willing to jump in front, so he's like, crap. Like, I hate myself right now. That's kind of where he's at.
By the way, I just love how that the fight starts where Superman just comes down and he's just like, we need to talk, and then that trap happens and Superman just deals with it. I just felt like Superman just needed to say, okay, that was cute, but really, we need to be talking here.
See, that is one thing that annoys me, but I've just accepted that this is Zack Snyder's Superman, and a lot of people aren't willing to accept that. That's fine. He's a hothead. He's kind of dumb. He he got angry so quick and was willing to fight, despite the fact that he didn't want to fight. Yeah.
I mean, that scene where he's coming down and saying like, we need to talk. I'm like, okay, that's a Superman I like.
Yeah. But that is Superman. Like, to me, that is one of the few moments where he's the Superman that I like.
I also really like the scene where the car chase and he just stops Batman's Batmobile. He's just like, look, this is just a warning, man, but you need to stop. Or next time, we're done.
I have to there's Superman comics I have to get you now. But anyway,
yes.
Because that's Superman to me. But, no, what's my favorite Superman scene in the movie?
What?
The bathtub scene with Lois Lane, to be honest. Because that's Clark Kent, she's freaking out about this, and he knows this is stuff that's eating him throughout the movie.
Right.
But in that moment, he's putting on his brave face, and he's like, "That's for me to worry about," pretty much, and he's just trying to get some, so he's not trying to get dragged down by this bad mood. But I just love that. I was like, yes, Superman is supposed to be someone that, because he knows what he's capable of, he wants the weight of, he wants that weight, even if it tears him down. But anyways, back to again Martha. I love that. Another thing is like he's like, oh, I'm gonna go save her now. Yeah, because this is like in his it's kind of like some kind of closure for him. It's like a redemption for him. Martha's not gonna die tonight. That's what he says.
Yeah.
And so I love that whole sequence. I love how brutal he is in that fight, and I love that he kills that guy because he's like, you're not killing this Martha, and he takes him out. Also, it's a scene from The Dark Knight. I mean, yeah, The Dark Knight Returns, remade from the comic. The Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight Returns? You don't know what The Dark Knight Returns is?
Are we talking about the movie or the comic?
There's no Dark Knight Returns movie.
Is there?
Well, there's an animated movie.
Knight Rises, right?
Okay. Yeah, Rises. The Frank Miller comic, the most famous Batman
I never
graphic
novel.
I know.
I have that somewhat about it.
You gotta read that too.
Is that one with the female Robin, or is that a different one?
Female Robin, yeah.
Okay.
But the point is, that scene is recreated from there, so that was cool. A lot of moments in the movie, just kind of those panels come to life. But that works for me, and so I guess we've talked enough about Batman. I've defended Batman, but were you gonna say something?
I want to talk about the thing that really made me like this movie. Was we saw the trailers and stuff. We knew Doomsday was going to be a part of it, and I thought they were going to waste Doomsday because even with my very little
some people
knowledge,
do think they did, but go ahead.
With my very little knowledge, I still know that Doomsday kills Superman in the comic books.
You didn't think Superman was going to die in this movie?
I did not think that. I thought they were going to waste Doomsday for this, like, oh, now we're together and we are friends now. But instead, this, like, and maybe the reason, like, people didn't like this film was, to me, this isn't Batman versus Superman. This is the death of Superman. That's, like, to me, this is what the movie is about to me. And I really enjoyed that they went there and they did that because there's so many interesting things that can come from this, you know?
Yeah. So one thing I want to say is just, again, I'm not in agreement. This is what people are saying, is they feel it was a waste. They feel they wasted the death of Superman story, that it's a way better story than what we got in this movie. So they feel like it doesn't work. They don't feel like you care enough about Superman when he dies for it to matter. And this is my thing. This is my thing about it. It's the other way around for me because I'm not the biggest fan of the death of Superman story. I don't think it's that great a story. It's impactful because it's Superman dying, and if you were reading everything up to that point, it's like, oh shit, he can die, you know? So that's the impact. But for me, I don't like Doomsday. So I kind of like that he wasn't the focus or anything, that he just so people are like, oh, he just came in the end. I'm like, yes, good, because he's not that interesting,
Oh, yeah.
So I like that. And I love that they went there, because like you said, when I went into this movie, I knew Doomsday was in it, but I'm just like, they're not killing Superman in this movie. This is the second movie he's in. There's no way. Right. And they did it. To be fair, it was heavily telegraphed before it actually happened, though.
Right.
So that maybe kind of lets down that moment a little bit. But I kind of like it because, there could have been a better way to do it, but I like Superman facing that moment, not executed in the best way, but it's like him realizing, what has to be done. But also, he finally, I think, feels like he's at home. Like, that's why I have to do this. Because if he didn't feel like this mattered, like Earth mattered, fuck it. It's not worth it.
I'm dying, so it's others.
Yeah, it's not just Lois. Like, Lois is his, is how he sees the world. He sees the world through her. That's his attachment, but it's not just Lois. It's like, this is my home. I have Lois, I have a mother. These are my people. I'm not going to let them die to this guy. And, he's willing to go and die for it. So I like that. And it's also super necessary, for people saying like, oh, this isn't the direction they want. Well, this is kind of how it goes in the direction you want. Because now Batman's going to be the Batman he's supposed to be. And he's going to pull these other people together and
start the Justice League.
Exactly.
And the reason why I think that's really interesting, like, let's say they go straight to like the satellite in the sky, like Justice League, which would be somewhat silly. But I would like they don't have Superman for like that. They get that brought in, and then they bring back Superman, and he's just like, this is not at all what I wanted. The fuck? And I'm just thinking like that could be the most interesting story, where now they have to deal with like a Superman who maybe is not working with them.
The only thing is, I don't think that will quite happen, because I think that this is about putting that behind them. Like, so we saw the alternate universe where Superman he looks like the bad guy, right? I think that the point of the Flash showing up is he's preventing that from happening. So I don't think we're going to see Superman as like too much of an antagonist or anything. If we do, I think it would be like something like it's not in his control, like Darkseid he's the one that pulls him out of his coffin and reanimates him or something like that, if he were a villain type.
Well, I'm not like saying like he should be a villain for this, but it's just like, I'm not working with you guys. This isn't what we should be doing, kind of a thing.
The only reason why I don't see that though is because this is a Superman who he's never been very clear about what he wants anyways. So I think it's like if they're doing good, he'll kind of follow along. He's more of like a moral leader than like a brains leader, you know? Right. As long as they're morally sound, I don't think he'll, be in that, in that mindset of like, oh, I don't know if I can work with you guys. But he has those moments throughout the comics though where he does go like, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are not what you're supposed to be. So maybe we will. I don't know. But I think that the next movie is way more about this unification. Not just Justice League, but getting on the same page, doing the right thing. And also, the threats are too big for Superman. If he comes back, the threats are going to be too big for Superman to be able to just go like, oh yeah, I'm not going to work with you guys. Like, Darkseid. I mean, he's like the biggest villain.
And I actually do like how they introduced the other Justice League members instead of like bringing them into the film. It's these short little video clips of how they are discovered or their origins, and I like how they brought that in.
And okay, so again,
Wonder Woman being in this film is a little like, I don't think they did a bad job. It's just at some point I was just going like, did she have to be in this?
Well, okay, I want to tackle 2 points. First, the fact that you liked that stuff, that's another thing people have issue with. They feel it's tacked on and like kind of hokey. Fine. But no, that's how I feel. I feel like this was their version of like the Marvel after credit scene stuff. They just did it in the movie, and I liked it. Like, I liked the little flash sequence. People are like, oh, it looks so cheap. Well, yeah, it's a freaking camera inside a store. Like, the only one that didn't work for me was the Aquaman one, because it just seemed like it just seemed weird. I think it would have been, I was really loving it initially when you just see his eyes. I was like, oh, this is going to be kind of like scary. Like, they're about to make us scared of him. I think it would have been more interesting if instead of him coming out slowly, like the trident shoots out and like hits one of the cameras, and then you just see him quickly come out and like punch something. But the whole like weird pose there, kind of weird. But I liked Flashes. I liked Cyborgs. And then so on to the second point, Wonder Woman. You're right. She didn't have to be in it, but I like that she was.
I'm sorry, this is new for me. You saying I'm right?
I've been saying it throughout this review. But yeah, you're right that it probably wasn't necessary. But then you could argue it was necessary not for story reasons or anything, but because of the way people did feel about this film. She was one of the things that people liked. So imagine if she wasn't in it. It would have been like that much more critically panned. I think it works though. Like, to me, I like what they're setting up with her. She hasn't been Wonder Woman, it seems, for like a really long time as well. So it's kind of like, this movie just has to be dark. Superman's depressed, Batman's nuts, Wonder Woman's like, fuck the world. It's Zack Snyder, man. I don't know what to tell you. I know a lot of people aren't feeling that, but yeah, she works for me, and mostly just to bring kind of fun to it. So yeah, I was with the story, but this is not really a fun movie, but she was fun. So I feel like I did kind of need that in the final, in the climax or whatever, to have some fun, to really be able to smile. And that's another thing, like, people didn't like those introductions. I was smiling seeing the Flash, and I like that he's just like really like at that point he's not the Flash, it seems. He's got this beard, the super long hair, and I don't know, I liked it. I was ready. I'm ready. And I'm ready for, that's another thing, like, some people are like, oh, I don't know, but I am interested in what's happening next. Well, this movie had a lot to accomplish, and that was the main thing. They needed you to want to see what's happening next. And I want the Justice League. I want my Flash movie. I want my Cyborg movie. I want my Wonder Woman movie.
And I'm much more interested in seeing those movies now because I'm not a big DC person. I'm not a big comic books person, I guess. It's just I know a lot because I took comic book history in high school. But it's interesting for me to now be interested because, like, when we talk about the Justice League, be it the satellite in the sky or the Hall of Justice, it's a little silly,
But that's what makes it so good. Like to me, the DC universe. The reason why I love it is because when done right, they're like so much more powerful than a lot of the Marvel heroes, but they are supposed to be grounded. They're supposed to be very human. But because they're so ridiculous and over the top, you get like that crazy comic book stuff. Like it makes me think of, in Avengers when we watched it for the first time and the helicarrier came up and you were like so excited. To me, that's like DC all the time. Like they're always doing ridiculous shit. And I want to see that stuff on film, and I don't want them to shy away from that because it's not real enough or something like that. I want them to get into what makes DC so fun, and it's because they're nuts. They just do whatever the hell they want. And so I guess that's maybe why some fans reacted kind of poorly. They feel like maybe Batman vs Superman is still trying to be like too gritty, too realistic or whatever. But it's not realistic. This movie's pretty insane, if you really think about it. Lex Luthor.
Okay, I'm glad we can get to this point. Because if there is a character I did not like in this film, it's him.
I'm not with you guys though.
This is good then.
All right, so yeah, a lot of people didn't like Lex Luthor. They think he's too campy. They compare him to like the Joker, which I find really weird because he's way more Riddler than he is Joker.
Okay, good. That ending, I was just going like, this ending with him, like they got so close to me liking this character. Like in the beginning, he's just this young asshole type. Facebook starter up kind of person, and I was just like, okay, whatever, they fucked this guy over. But as the movie was going, as we see this like psychopathic thinker, like just the fact that he was able to pull it together that Superman will fight Batman, like that's just like the perfect manipulative bastard who's trying to control God. And then the final of the film when they shave his head and like yes Batman comes and he's just crazy. It reminds me of Riddler from fucking Batman Forever or whichever terrible like I'm the Batman. No, like the bells are coming, like fuck off. Or the bells are tolling, whatever the fuck he said.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but he's not crazy though. He's talking about because he's clearly been manipulated or met or is in league with Darkseid.
Right.
Now, alright, I shouldn't say clearly because that's something a lot of people missed. But when I was watching it,
I know like the bells, like that's a reference to something.
Yeah,
I think.
mother boxes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and we see that during the Cyborg sequence. That's what gives Cyborg his powers. To me, he's not crazy. He's maybe kind of terrified of what's about to happen. But I wonder, but then that makes his motivations not so clear to me. It's like, does he think that, is he going to be made like a king essentially by working with Darkseid, or like why is he doing this?
Well, the thing is that could have played out better if he was just like standing up to Batman going like, nah, something's coming. And I know it's coming, and God's dead, and trust me.
Yeah,
Like he could have been done, but instead it's like, there's a quote from this movie.
He could be pushing for something he's still scared of, though.
But there's just he said this phrase. I'm gonna probably botch it a bit. Where Lois Lane like calls him a psychopath. He's like, that's just a 3-syllable word for people who think inside the box or something. And that's a good quote. I like it. It's a good way to describe Lex Luthor. But at the end, it just feels like the writers wrote him as a psychopath instead of... Because the Lex Luthor I know from everything I've watched or seen, He's a manipulative, in control character.
Okay. You are right, again. But and this is an issue a lot of people have. But this is the thing. He's not the Lex Luthor. He's Lex Luthor Jr. He talks about his father.
I was thinking about that too. Like, if they just brought in Lex Luthor Sr. and been like, no, I'm the real Lex Luthor. Bad boy. Bad mini-me. Bad. But it sounds like Lex Luthor was like going like, oh, I was orphaned. Like, something about being orphaned or something. Or his father being dead or something. It was something like that.
Yeah.
And that makes me go, well, this is the Lex Luthor we have.
No, I get you. But the point is,
Lex Luthor Sr. faked his own death, took some of his money, and created a big giant skull base in the middle of a swamp.
What the hell?
The Legion of Doom.
Yeah, but I'm just like...
So unless that's how that's introduced to me,
no.
I will be...
But... Sure, maybe, but the point is, he's just not the character that people like. He's not that person.
But it was so close,
and
it was so close. If that ending, the way I explain it, like the way where he's like in charge, maybe still afraid, like how the fuck did this guy get into my cell? But still, like something's coming, and I'm a part of it, and God's dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't bother me. Like, for me, it's like, he's not the Lex Luthor, and I do like his character for the most part. But I like, his craziness, not in the end, but throughout the movie, is just fake. It's like he doesn't know how to act around people. Like, you see him so different when he's having that conversation with the senator in his father's room. Right. I fucking love that scene. Because you see the real him come out, Yeah. And... Yeah, but maybe he will continue to grow and, he'll become more like what you're saying. But it didn't bother me the way he was in this movie. Like,
I'm just saying,
even in the end.
I'm just saying, DC needs a Lex Luthor.
Sure.
I think these movies will continually need a Lex Luthor. Mm-hmm. And the fact is, well, first of all, I don't think they'll pull in a Lex Luthor Senior kind of a thing. I don't think so. They might, but I don't think so.
I don't know, man. If they're willing to embrace comic books, I'm just saying.
With what we know, we have this Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And they got so close to making this be a Lex Luthor I can be behind. But they just fucked it over at that last scene where he's just an insane person.
But he's not, though. That's what I'm saying. He's not an insane person. He's speaking...
He cracked mentally. Lex Luthor does not crack mentally. He gets cancer.
He didn't crack mentally.
He gets cancer from holding kryptonite.
He didn't crack mentally. He cracked emotionally, but what he's saying, he's speaking the truth. It's not like he's talking nonsense. Cracking mentally implies that he's lost his mind. He hasn't.
Kind of is talking nonsense. I mean, if you want to... I mean, Batman could see it. Like, in the eyes of Batman, he's insane.
Sure, and that's fine, but I'm just saying, if the context of the movie is that he's not insane in that moment. He's speaking very clearly. It just, you don't know what he's talking about. But he does. He's not insane. He knows what he's talking about.
I guess my biggest problem isn't... Well, I guess my biggest problem is, to me, they got so close. And that scene just ruined it for me, personally. Where it's just like, oh, no, you dropped the ball, and it's going down it went down the hill. Are you going to go pick that up? No? Okay. This is who you are now. You're the ball dropper, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it that way. Like, and then, like, for me,
he looks good bald, though.
He does.
Though I don't see why that's a prison thing, to go full skin.
Maybe he just wanted to go full.
Oh, yeah, he went to prison and just went, I have some stylistic things you can try out.
No, maybe they do you want it at 2 or do you want it at 0? Like, I don't know. I don't find that hard to believe. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's not really much more to say. I did like it. And in fact, I think that they held back. I think that they needed to go a little more over the top with his character because that was
I'm the Batman.
I mean, not like that. I just mean that
it's terrible that scene right as it happened reminded me of this fucking terrible Riddler scene, and now I can't get it out of my head. I haven't seen that movie since I was a child, and I finally forget about it, and this fucking movie brings it back to me.
Well, you know what? I don't hate Batman Forever, and I don't hate Jim Carrey Riddler. It's.
I can only remember the ending of that scene. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Carrey was fine throughout the film, and just that end is just a little ridiculous.
No, he's ridiculous all the time, and that's why I love it. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's a good campy film, if anything. But you know.
All right. So this is another thing. We were talking about Max Landis earlier. Jesse Eisenberg has worked with Max Landis. They worked on American Ultra together. He based his performance of Lex Luthor on Max Landis, and that's why he didn't go far enough, because I've watched plenty of videos with Max Landis. Max Landis is an animated, crazy, speaks faster than he can think, like, or he's just like all over the place, and he jumps from one thing to another. This is familiar to me.
That's familiar to us.
So I wanted more of that. Like, they kind of got at it a little bit in an awkward scene that again, a lot of people hate it. I liked it when he was giving the speech at that party.
Okay.
He was doing that, and he's like all over the place. He doesn't know what, but I feel like it should have been even more. Like, it should have been like, he's just jumping around. I don't know. I like that scene. I just liked it. I like Lex Luthor. To me, I don't have a problem with Lex Luthor. I have a problem maybe with his plan a little bit. Like, it doesn't make that much sense. I don't really...
Well, I mean, if he got rid of...
Yeah, he accomplished it. But it was
you either wanted to get rid of Superman, or he wanted to get rid of Batman.
He wanted to get rid of
Superman. Maybe he just put his money on Batman, and I fully expected Batman to win.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's just something that rubs me the wrong way around about his plan. Like, it doesn't feel like a Lex Luthor plan. It feels like the ends is where Lex Luthor would want to get, but it just, the plan just doesn't seem... So if we're going to compare him to Lex Luthor Sr., I'm saying, it's definitely not a Lex Luthor way of handling things. And then the Doomsday thing is interesting, because it's like, what was he going to do if Superman didn't kill Doomsday in the process of dying to Doomsday? Or was this Doomsday...
I don't think he cared.
What about him? Or was he just going to get the hell out of there until Darkseid came down?
I think he was just going to get out of there.
All right. I guess I'll
I love the scene like where Doomsday was clearly going to smack up
Superman stops it?
Yeah, I'm just like, that's a good Superman.
See, they had those moments. He's still not the Superman that that I love. But he's grown on me from Man of Steel. That's another interesting thing. People like Man of Steel way more than they like Batman vs Superman. I am not a fan of Man of Steel. I really am not.
It, so I can't say.
To me, Superman was more... People say, oh, he's even further removed. No, to me, he was more Superman in this. The scene, again, where he's talking to Lois. Scenes where he's reflecting on what's going on in the world. He knows he's not the person that they're trying to portray him as, either good or bad. He's like, I'm not a god, and I'm definitely not here to destroy anything either. I'm neither one of these things. I'm just Clark Kent. I just want to do the right thing. So I like those moments, not enough of it for me. If there's a problem, I wish we spent more time with Clark Kent, and not Superman with a pouty face. Because when he's Superman, to me, that's when he's supposed to put it all behind him. He's trying to be this symbol of hope, and it's like, Clark Kent could be depressed, Superman can't. Superman has to be more than Clark Kent. Right. But still, I liked it more than Man of Steel. I like the direction, and I think that they've established enough that we don't have to have problems with not all this stuff not being able to fit in films. They were trying to do maybe too much for this movie, but the point is they did set up the Justice League. They gave us story threads they can pick up moving forward. Mm-hmm. I want to see the Wonder Woman movie, and we're getting a Wonder Woman movie. Like, that's crazy to me. So I don't know. I liked it more than most people. As we said to start this, I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't think it's as good as it could have been either, but I don't think it's a bad movie.
So I just realized this thing where for this movie, not only is it trying to set up so many things, but it's also trying to set up things for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So
and the past. Because I think the first Batman movie is going to take place before this. Wonder Woman definitely takes place before this. But yeah,
have your try to stick with me because this may seem kind of really out of there. Mm. What was your opinion on Avengers 2?
Okay,
like quick.
I liked it more than most. Most people were down on it compared to the first Avengers. I liked it more than most. I thought they were trying to do, again, maybe a little too much, but I thought that I
didn't like it.
I liked it more than most. Like, and that's interesting. See, that's the thing. Like, so, yeah, I didn't expect you to be a big fan of Age of Ultron, but that's why I didn't expect you to be a big fan of this movie. They're very similar.
But the thing is, I was bored throughout that film, and during one of the main climax, this is spoilers for Avengers 2, by the way, where there's that scene where they're trying to figure out like what they're gonna do with the AI. Like what was it? It was towards the end of the film. They found the AI and they were doing something weird with it.
What, Ultron or Vision?
Vision.
Okay.
Like they were gonna do the AI. Yeah, well, this is the same thing as Ultron and blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But that scene got solved with just Thor coming in and being like, "I'm Thor, bitches."
To be fair, that happens a lot. Thor, that's kind of how he rolls.
And I really didn't. Where that scene happened, like my boredom went to annoyed. And then the rest of the film. But I was talking to, back when I worked at Walmart, I was talking to a coworker, let's just say. And I was telling her, like, because she's very big into comic books and stuff, and I'm just like, I saw Avengers 2 and I just did not like it. And she's like, oh, well, it's trying to set up so many things. And I'm just like thinking, Batman vs. Superman did it so much better. In my opinion.
Yeah, okay, I mean, definitely in your opinion, almost everyone disagrees. I don't. But I do disagree with Age of Ultron because to me they are very similar. Why do you think Batman vs. Superman did it better? Like, because to me, both movies are very much about I guess, the consequences of what these superheroes do, you know? Like, the themes are very similar.
I guess with Batman and Superman, I can see the thread more easily.
That's interesting to me.
I'm even like going like, because like when I said like they'll start up the Justice League and maybe do the satellite base type thing, and the idea that maybe Superman be like the fuck, or maybe fucking Bruce Wayne fucks Lois Lane. I don't know.
I want that so bad.
I just think there can be a very interesting, like not like villain, but antagonist Superman. Yeah. Which I'm super interested in.
Yeah, but Age of Ultron does that as well.
Between...
To lead into Civil War, they do the same thing.
At the end of the movie, they were laughing and talking about shit, about elevators, and the hammer.
When they were at the party scene or whatever?
I'm talking about the end, when they're, like, wow, I'm really sorry because I'm forgetting names. I'm just going to call him Iron Man right now.
Tony Stark?
Tony and Captain America. What's his name?
Steve Rogers.
Tony and Steve. God, that is not as easy to say.
They just call
Bruce
him Captain,
and Clark.
Though. No matter what, they always call him Captain.
Okay, Captain and Tony. And Thor were like walking down talking about like how Vision was able to pick up the hammer, and it was very jovial.
Yeah, because
and Tony
friends.
Was going. I know, but it was just like like they had maybe one or two conflicting things in this movie to lead to, there being more in Civil War. But I got so much more out of seeing a trailer where Tony's going like, if we can't follow rules, what's, what makes us better than the bad guys? That scene sets up that Civil War a lot better for me than that whole movie. No, I was just bored.
No, because I get what you're saying, but that
And they
conversation.
killed Quicksilver, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but the conversation you just said that is in the trailer of Civil War, that conversation doesn't happen if what happened in Age of Ultron didn't happen. It was.
What happened in Age of Ultron?
They leveled an entire country.
Oh, it's fine.
No, it's not fine. It is not fine, and people remember, and people have to live with that. And
well, you know what? They should have. At the end of that movie, I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot. To me, they just saved the day. At the end of the film, there was
you're
no
watching it from their standpoint.
There was no news thing to be the greatest travesty.
Yeah,
maybe if there was a news thing, it'd be there should be rules or
I get what
something
you're saying,
sanctioned against these heroes.
That's what the entirety of Civil War is about, though.
But yeah, so I don't know where I just. Again, with Civil War, I think the first couple scenes is going to set up that movie well, where at least at the end of this film, I feel okay, they're going to gather these guys, they're going to start the Justice League, maybe some interesting things that are only in my head are going to happen, but
the thing is, the first couple of scenes of Civil War, they do set it up, but it's a continuation of what happened in Ultron.
Is Spider-Man in Civil War?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Because I know very little about Civil War. All I know is Tony Stark convinces Peter Parker to come out to show his face to get him on their side and blah blah blah, and something about sending the Hulk into outer space, which I don't think that's gonna happen. No,
he already sent himself out in Age of Ultron.
I guess, but I really like the idea of, because it was something whoever the Hulk is on is gonna win. So they just sent him into outer space. He lands on some kind of random planet with a war happening, and the Hulk. And he's the Hulk the whole time because that's the only way to survive on this planet. Becomes a general technician because he had to learn war to help them. And it's just hilarious to me. And then he comes back and he's the smart Hulk who understands tactics. And I know that probably wouldn't work in the films that they made. But those are the only two things I really know about Civil War, other than also Captain America dies. Does he die in the film? Do you not want to tell me?
Civil War now on the Batman?
I apologize.
I'm not going to answer that right now. I'll answer it once we...
No, actually don't tell me. I should see the fucking film. Maybe I'll enjoy it.
I think you will.
To be fair, your guesstimates have been a bit...
I was only off on Batman vs Superman. I didn't think you would like Age of Ultron.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't think you would like Age of Ultron for the same reasons. I thought, again, to me, Age of Ultron and Batman vs Superman kind of go hand in hand with the way they deliver their...
To me, the death of Superman is just such an interesting concept. And I don't even like how they did it in the freaking comic books, because Lex Luthor makes robot clones of Superman, and Superman kind of just goes to his little man cave in Antarctica and heals up. But I just see more interesting things where they set up so much. Superman comes back and they now have to deal with a Superman. Because when you think about it,
well, I think you're going to be disappointed then, because I don't think they're going to be dealing with a Superman.
I probably will be, but I like the thought in my head. I like the writing in my head.
I think they're going to... what happens with the future, and I don't want to get too... We've already talked about what can happen. But the thing is, I think it's going to be, we need Superman again. And it's he just needs to come back. He needs to come back. He'll be back
Also, the death of Superman is such... Especially in this film, because he becomes that martyr. Well, no, it's a good thing, because there is a lot of strife against Superman. The fact that
it works in this.
Yes.
Yeah, to me, that's why I don't like it in the comics, because it's so...
No, I wasn't talking about comics. I was talking about this film. It works very well because
it makes them appreciate Superman. Yes. Yeah, it was needed.
Where if he comes back, I don't think... We don't have to deal with...
people hating him again and all that.
Right, the people versus Superman, which... It could be interesting, but... I don't think it has as much legs as the thing in my head has.
Well, I think we should just wrap up Batman v Superman because we're going way off.
Well, overall, we liked it.
Mm-hmm.
No one else liked it.
No,
we told you why we liked it, and maybe that'll help you change your mind. Or
probably not.
Just leave hateful comments towards John.
I want to say one more thing I liked.
Okay.
I should have talked about it when I was talking about the bathtub scene. I really bought Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Man of Steel,
being like
I
a couple?
did not. Yeah, in Man of Steel, I did not buy it. It was very forced to me. And somehow they nail the fact that they've been together for a long time in this movie. They feel like a real couple that care about each other. And I was like, yes. That's just one random thing.
It was definitely good. I'm just trying to think if there's anything. I guess the one good thing I like about Lex Luthor was the bombing the courtroom thing, where it's just like, as you're watching him set it up, it's just like, what is he doing here? Why is he befriending this cripple? I don't know. I enjoyed watching like that plot start coming together. And the piss.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
And people hate that too. I liked it. Like, I was like, man, that just shows you how crazy this guy is.
It was just like... It was alluded to, but it was just such a metaphor to like, you can put a label on your piss and call it grandma's lemonade or apple juice or whatever the fuck. And it's just like, okay, this is a nice little funny, not funny, but it's a good metaphor. And then Lex Luthor's just like, made it. There's your metaphor. This is not what metaphors mean, Lex Luthor. I made it.
Another thing I liked about Batman vs Superman.
So close.
I liked the supporting cast. Like
Alfred and...
Yeah, I already talked about Alfred, but even like characters that just... Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of Lois Lane in Man of Steel. Much better here. And she had a smaller part, but I liked her a lot more. Lawrence Fishburne, that's the guy, White at the Daily Planet, her boss or whatever. Again, he was just so much better. I liked everything he said to Clark, to her. You know, like they just kind of...
He sounded like a boss.
Yeah, it was great. I liked Ma Kent a lot more in this. I didn't like the Kents. To me, that's why this Superman is the way he is. The Kents suck. In Man of Steel, they suck. The thing about Superman, the reason why he's got like this great moral compass and why, he's able to handle all this stuff is because he got so lucky and had the best parents, essentially, in Ma and Pa Kent. They suck in Man of Steel. But, she's a lot more likable in this, even if she's kind of just used as a plot device. I like the movie. Maybe one day, for some reason, I'll hate it. But I doubt it, because especially if, like, the rest of these movies, if, like, the fruits of their labor are delivered, you know what I mean? It's like, then I'll like it more. You know what I mean? It's like, if I like Justice League, I'm gonna be like, they set that all up in Batman vs. Superman. I like it. Or maybe it'll just be so much better, and people are like, this is what it should have been. I'll be like, oh, well, shit, yeah. But, yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was a fun talk. Probably be an hour after editing. But yeah.
Oh, speaking of editing. All right.
What the fuck?
Okay, that's the problem with this movie. They cut 30 minutes, whatever the case, it's just weirdly edited. It's kind of disjointed.
It's
it kind of
a long film.
But it shouldn't feel as long as it does, I think, because there is so much story. Usually when a movie has this much, going on, you can hold on to the audience. You can make it go, but it's kind of like jarring at points, especially the way it starts. I feel like we're just like jumping from one character to another, from one country to another, and it's kind of, weird. But, yeah, that's the last thing I'll say, but still liked it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. If you like this, say so, and maybe that will convince John to do more stuff like this with me.